All right, today we're going to jump into one of the biggest issues that we see with both established websites as well as new websites. And if you're an 80s kid like me, you might remember the Kevin Costner phrase, if you build it, they will come, in the movie Field of Dreams. Unfortunately, a website and a web page is not like that. You can't just build it and you're going to get visitors. And usually it's because Google or AI or other search engines don't actually know that your web pages or your website exists. And most guys don't realize that. They think, hey, I paid for a new website, it should be popping up. Well, that's just simply not the case. You need to make sure that Google is aware that your website and your web pages exist. So, how do we do that? Well, pretty much any website software that you're running is going to have an option to create what's called a sitemap or an XML sitemap. And essentially, it's just a list of all the pages. So, this particular website right here, we see all these different pages they've got on here, et cetera, et cetera. However, Google doesn't look at it like that. They actually, need to see what's called this sitemap, and it's a full listing of all the different links to all the different pages on your website. And you can connect to Google using a tool called Google Search Console. And again, depending on your website software, there's going to be a way to integrate with this, but it's quite easy to set up. Once you do, all you have to do is click where it says Sitemaps, and then you enter your new sitemap URL there. In this case, we see it's just page dash sitemap, and we just share that with them and we submit that, and it's going to give that full list of the pages to Google. Now, again, without doing this, there's a good chance that it could take quite a while for your website to pop up in the search results or get found at all. And the same goes for any new pages that you add. Just because you add a page doesn't mean it's necessarily going to be found quickly. So this is a very key piece, is adding this sitemap and connecting it with Google Search Console. Now, once Google has that list of links to all the different pages that you have, then they do what we call crawling your website. Basically, Google's bots go through and they look at all the different code on your website. And this helps them to understand what your business and your pages are about. And ultimately, that helps you get what we call indexed. And by index, we simply mean that's going to allow you to pop up in the list of their search results. So when you say a page is indexed, it means it's in basically their database, and it's going to allow you to pop up in the search results. Now, it is important to note, just because it's indexed, it doesn't mean it's going to stay there. If Google looks at your page and they crawl it, they index it, then they crawl it again, they might realize, this page doesn't add a lot of value. It might have a very minimal amount of content. Another common issue we see is guys try and create city pages, and they basically copy and paste pages over and over, thinking that it's going to get them visibility in nearby cities. That simply doesn't work these days. So it's kind of a multi-part deal here. You need a sitemap. You need to get it crawled by connecting it with Google Search Console, and also by making sure your pages have lots of useful content. And ultimately, we try and get indexed. So that's, again, one of the biggest mistakes that we see. So if you have a website that's built, make sure that whoever is managing it for you, ask them, hey, have you set up a sitemap? Have you connected it with Google Search Console? Because if not, there's a very good likelihood that many of your pages aren't going to be found, and ultimately they're not providing you any value. You're not getting any calls from it.